Welcome back to the Crypto Horrors, everybody. We've got a lot of pickups to show off today. So there were a couple of online sales that we took advantage of, and collecting out in the wild was actually pretty good for the first time in a while. So let's get started. So our first pickup was Lovecraft Country, a steelbook from Best Buy. Now it kind of touted on the package that has reversible art, which I'm doing a terrible job of showing you. But so that's what the back is like. And I'm excited to see this. So I've heard mostly good things, and I love Lovecraft, so this was our first pickup. And since we had ordered that, we ordered that from Best Buy, and we used the opportunity to fill in a few other holes that we'd had for a while. So you may remember that I had picked up Deep Blue Sea 3 a while ago when it came out. Well, I did actually have the other two. So we ordered Deep Blue Sea from Best Buy. It was actually cheaper there than it was on Amazon. And this had a pretty good amount of extras. I got to sit down and watch it. The movie holds up pretty well. So very satisfied with that. Then, of course, Deep Blue Sea 2, which I actually just finished watching before recording. I wish I'd seen this sooner. Like, I really do. I was impressed. So, and this had an okay amount of extras on it, too. And then in that same order, we picked up the Arrow Video House, which House has been missing from my collection for a pretty long time. So, happy to finally get it out of the way. Weird thing though, it comes in one of the new blue cases that they're starting to use, that Arrow is starting to use, instead of like the clear cases. So, it's gonna look a little awkward on the shelf, I think. But happy to have it anyway. And then, of course, we picked up House 2 at the same time. Well, this comes in the regular case that Arrow typically uses. And so it's probably going to drive me nuts how they don't match. But, you know, I've seen House before, but it was a long time ago. But I've never seen House 2, so I'm looking forward to this a lot. And in the same order, we picked up the 4K Steelbook of Christine, which is a John Carpenter movie that we didn't actually have for some reason. So I don't know why I never picked this up when it was easier to find, but you know, it was fairly cheap. It did come with a bunch of like really small dents in it, which I didn't notice until after I opened it up. But it just goes to show you never know what's going to happen when they ship you stuff from Best Buy. Because Lovecraft Country came pretty poorly packaged, and it's totally fine. No dents, no nothing. But this came in a box, and it was all banged up, so who knows what's going on. Then this was an Amazon pickup. Horror Noir has finally made it to Blu-ray, so this is a great documentary that I really enjoy. And I recommend everybody check this out. It's on Shudder, if you have Shudder. It's got a lot of great interviews, and it's been a while since I've seen it, so I can't wait to revisit it and actually add it to the documentary sub-collection. And then today, we went kind of all over the place. So I was back at Best Buy, and I picked up 3 different things that I've been kind of interested in for a while. So first up, Arch Enemy. I don't know if this is a horror movie or an action movie or what, but it had Joe Manganiello, and I really like Joe Manganiello. So that's pretty much why I bought this. Don't know anything about it, other than I've heard some good things here and there. So we'll get to see what that's about. Although, from the producers of Mandy and Color Out of Space, that was also a big incentive, too. Because I loved both of those movies, especially Color Out of Space. Then we have Random Acts of Violence, which is another Shudder movie. I don't know much about this one, but the synopsis sounded interesting. Something about comic books. So we're going to give it a try. I think I've heard some people kind of talking about it too, like here and there, like not a lot. Like I haven't heard a review or anything. I've heard like, yeah, it was good. Yeah. So we're going to give it a shot. And then the somewhat divisive Wrong Turn reboot, which I had been wanting to see because I've heard a lot of buzz about this. So some people are like, oh, it's not Wrong Turn because it doesn't have cannibals or whatever the Wrong Turn series is about. I haven't actually gotten to see the Wrong Turn series yet. Like, if you remember that really nice box that we bought, we haven't been able to crack into it yet. So we're going to do that probably pretty soon here. And so we'll probably have a bit more context for this when we do. But for now, I'm just happy I was able to find it like on a physical copy because it's kind of getting harder to find physical copies of things, especially like at say Best Buy. Like Best Buy has been severely downsizing their inventory of movies, and it's getting hard to find good stuff there. But you know, thankfully they had this. And then moving on to, well, not quite yet. So we picked up the Arrow Hills Have Eyes 2 box, mostly for sake of completion. So because I already have the Hills Have Eyes that Arrow put out a couple of years ago. And also they talked about this a little bit in Search of Darkness Part 2 and made it sound really interesting, so I at least want to see it. However, I can hear my disc rattling around in there, which, yikes. Gotta open that up soon and fix that. Now for our used finds, today was actually pretty good for used stuff. We found The Birds for $8, which is better than the Amazon price. And there appear to actually be a pretty good amount of extras on here, so we'll get to learn about one of history's better horror movies, and what I think is probably one of Hitchcock's better movies too. So I'm not a huge fan of Hitchcock like a lot of people are. Like, I personally think he was kind of overrated. But I enjoyed The Birds, and I enjoy Psycho. So we'll get to revisit that. And maybe change some of our perceptions. Now, I was recommended this movie a long time ago, but I never managed to get a hold of a copy. As Above, So Below. I think it's a found footage movie in the French catacombs. Not really sure what it's about, but I've had it recommended to me quite a few times, and it was very cheap. So I think the cell's new for like 18, and we found it for 6. So hey. Couldn't really resist that. This next one was kind of indulgent, so Happy Death Day. Which, Happy Death Day is a really good slasher. Like, I enjoy it a lot, like I've seen it before. And it was a little bit more expensive than I was sort of willing to pay, but I wanted to add it to the collection, so we got it for $9. And it does have a decent amount of extras from the looks of it, so hooray, got to add it to the collection. And then kind of our big thing that we found is the recently released Arrow video Silent Running. And we got this for $8 because somebody made a horrible mistake when they were pricing it. So this is a sci-fi movie that I don't know anything about, but for $8, sure. Especially since this just came out like I think a couple of months ago, and it still sells for like $30. So I don't know what was going on that it was so cheap, but it's complete. Like, it comes with reversible art, it comes with the booklet, and it appears to be in pretty good shape, like basically like new shape. So That was our big deal of the day. And we kind of did get one more thing. Excuse me as I scratch my nose. So we pre-ordered this a while ago, and it just happened to come today. This is the Cassie hack figure put out by Creative Comics and Collectibles, which is a new toy company. I don't know where they're based out of, but it doesn't really matter. So this was the online variant that you could only get from them. So you can't really see it particularly well, but she's got some blood splatter on her. And, you know, for a new toy company, this is actually a pretty decent looking figure. So the packaging is pretty minimal, let's just say. But, you know, she looks good, the bat looks good, and she comes with some extra hands. So I don't know if I'll open it up or not. Just because I have so much stuff that it's easier to just keep things in the package and, like, hang it on the wall like that. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the quality of this, because it was with a new company that I didn't know. It was like it felt like a bit of a gamble. But I'm pleased with the results, and she does look better than she looks in the video. And from what I'm seeing on my monitor, she actually looks pretty good on the video. So that should give you an idea of the quality that they've got on this thing. The paint is pretty nice, too. I think the only maybe gripe I would have is you almost never see her look so happy in the comics. I don't know if you can see her face, but she's like... So that's maybe the only issue, and it's just a stupid nitpick. So yeah, if you can find this, get a hold of it. So, well, that does it for... Well, we're filming this... Let's say... Yeah, these were February pickups. So that does it for February. A month that ended up having a lot more collecting in it than I was expecting. So what will we find in March? Who knows? It'll all depend on what's available, used, and what comes out in stores. So, well, hopefully you had a good time hanging out. Like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to go nuts in the comments below to drive that engagement. And we'll see you next time.